What's up, Raider Nation? Spicy Raider Girl here with my special guest, Gamer Athletics. I know we are a Raiders channel, but we are also the channel that represents Oakland. So we are here tonight to talk about the ongoing saga, which is the A's. Let's go, Oakland!
Simeon tests out Brasso with his new spot. Low throw is off base, and Simeon's at third. Ramon Laureano with a little fly ball. Garcia makes the catch. Simeon's going to score, and the A's are on the board.
Sacrifice fly for Laureano, and the A's get one back.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Like I said, I'm Spicy Raider Girl here with Gamer Athletics. What's good, my friend?
How's it going? Nice to be back.
It's going. Yes, thanks for coming back. We know you do all things athletics. We're a Raiders channel, but we represent Oakland and your channel. If you haven't already, subscribe to his channel. If you haven't subscribed to ours, subscribe, hit that like button, and share this video. There's a lot that has been developing in the long-going saga of the Oakland A's moving to Vegas. So we're here to talk about it tonight. I'm going to let you get us up to speed. But as of right now, as of today, I believe, the Athletics' potential move to Vegas now in limbo after lawmakers fail to vote on stadium bill. So I'll let you take it from here. What do you make of all of this?
Honestly, it's kind of a clown show. The way Dave Cavill and John Fisher have made this become. I mean, from the last time you had me on here, they had they announced that they were going to Vegas, or at least they were looking at Vegas. And in the past couple weeks of this, from basically a whole month, they had a site, then they randomly switched to a different site, and then with a 3-day weekend coming up, they decided to throw in their legislation last second. They tried to throw their bill back in there, and then literally, they came out with all these random renderings that, it just they were just pretty bad, in my opinion. And then, going off from that, legislation ended on Monday, and nothing happened. There's no hearing there's nothing besides that hearing that happened on Labor Day, or it was a Memorial Day. Memorial Day,
yeah.
Yeah. So besides that, I mean, that's the only thing that's happened. And as of today, they called a special session. On Monday, we thought because of everything that happened, or Tuesday morning, that because they didn't talk about it, that essentially that the bill was dead and they wouldn't be talking about it anymore. And ultimately, from what everybody was saying at the time, that it was dead and nobody was going to bring it back up unless someone else brings it up. But from what it sounded like at the time, nobody was going to talk about it. And then Joe Lombardo, the governor of Nevada over there, decided they're going to have a special session today. So they said they were going to have it at 10, and then they delayed it to 12, had people wait 2 hours, and then right afterwards went straight to lunch, had people wait again. And currently right now, Dave Cavill is currently probably trending on Twitter. If not trending, he's getting flamed on Twitter because of a little interaction he had with the council member over there, or should I say senator over there. He did not have a good interaction with him at all.
So tell me a little bit about that, because I did not see it. So can you extend a little bit on the interaction?
So pretty much, it's what Dave Cavill does best. He was asked a question,
Really quickly, sorry to interrupt you. For people that don't know, Dave is the president of the Oakland Athletics. So he's been the one for kind of like facilitating the move, if you will, between Oakland and Las Vegas. So that's who we're speaking of. But go ahead.
Yeah. So A's president Dave Cavill, basically the face of John Fisher here, pretty much he's
Raiders owner.
He was in the
A's owner.
Yeah, A's owner, terrible owner. He wasn't for once. He actually showed up to one of these meetings. He did not show up to the Memorial Day meeting that was where they had the hearing, and so he finally showed up today. And one of the senators asked him a question, and he failed to answer it. He dodged the question, and so he asked him again. The same question, and it was pretty much a yes or no answer, and he proceeded to dodge the question again. And for once, someone called him out on his BS. And it, like I said, it's trending on Twitter. I would have to look back at exactly what the question was and what his response was exactly. But currently, they're on a recess, and nothing right now has pretty much changed since that. I mean, they pretty much right now. What happened so far is that they had a hearing for it. And I guess they're just taking a break at the moment. So this is still like an ongoing situation at the moment.
Yeah, it's definitely an ongoing situation. And listen, honestly, I'm sure you're exhausted. We're all exhausted from this. It's really come to the forefront of everything in the past couple months. At the end of the day, they're leaving. It's happening. That's unfortunate, but I really think that's the case. And that's why a lot of the fans are blaming John Fisher, the owner, to sell. And if you're just joining us, the drinking game alert is sell. Every time we say it, make sure you take your drink, you talk or you twerk. But tell me, I know we'll talk about the June 13th protest event here in a minute, but tell me the meaning, if you will, behind wanting John Fisher to sell. Like, what is the outcome of that in a perfect world?
In a perfect world, it just shows that it makes a statement. And it's not only for urging John Fisher to sell this team to someone who actually cares about, Oakland, and not only that, but its fans and putting a good product on the field. But ultimately, it's just to show the world that whatever the story is of people here in Oakland, that the fans don't care, that we do care. I mean, literally, 2019, I know it was a playoff game. I know it was, one of those games where a lot of people were expected to fill, but it's, we had fans that packed out that stadium. And one thing I would like to note, and I'm not trying to dodge, or should I say knock Tampa Bay Rays fans, but they're not the Yankees. They're not a team. They're not a team that people travel out to see in groups, in packs, to where it's like, if it's the A's and Yankees, you're going to see a lot of Yankee fans take over that ballpark, or, it's going to be an even playing field. That was the Rays. And there was a lot more A's fans. And I can say that because I was there. I barely saw any Rays fans over there, supporting the team in Oakland in that wild card game. So that was full on A's fans. I'm not saying there was no Rays fans at all. I mean, I bet you there was a couple out there, but not traveling in a pack like how Dodgers, Yankees, or any other team would. And so, I mean, that just basically what it is, though, is we just want to show people that there are fans here. And if John Fisher were to sell the team, we would show up.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing, right? We're looking at this because first of all, the A's attendance is at an all-time low, and that's no secret. But I feel like the narrative behind it is misleading, right? It seems like, the A's can't draw on a fan base and this, that, and the other. That's completely false. Okay. The A's can draw on a fan base just like any team if you put a good product on the field. And it seems like John Fisher's plan, the A's owner, is to purposely lose. His business plan is to purposely lose so that the attendance will get low enough where Major League Baseball will basically say, we need you to move. At this point, it almost doesn't even have anything to do with the stadium conditions. It has to do with which they're actually letting go as well. If you've been there before, if you've been there recently, they don't take care of the grounds anymore. They don't hire the vendors back. They don't put them on any sort of contract or anything like that. So really, this is like a major league situation in real life. This is like, and I'm speaking of the movie.
Yeah.
You know, we've all seen the movie Major League, where the owner purposely tries to give the team the worst accommodations as possible so that the team can fail. And we're seeing this in real life. And this is a movie. Like I would never think, I would have never thought that I would actually see this in real life. But this is John Fisher's really business plan.
Yeah, I mean, they even said it in today's little meeting here that they have in the legislation special session. Literally, you know, part of the reason why someone asked them like, what's the reasoning for to move, and they said, well, with you know the attendance, essentially, like, you know, pretty much lying straight up to these people, you know, it's not right. And a lot of A's fans on Twitter were quick to point that out, that that's the narrative that they're trying to push here is definitely wrong.
Right. Right. And I think it's unfair. I think it's unfair to fans, of course. And if you really like, we talked about the stadium before, you know, people will talk about the stadium all day long. I mean, is it the best stadium? Of course not. I actually don't even think it's the worst stadium. I mean, again, what do you want? What do you want from a stadium? But that's neither here nor there at that point, because we're beyond that. The Oakland Coliseum has a bad reputation now because people spread it as a terrible place to watch a sporting event. And that's probably most of those people that are saying that probably have never even been to a sporting event there. People like you and I who go all the time, I think, are happy with just watching our teams play. And so, you know, you see these things online where it's like they're unreasonable like conditions and things like that. But John Fisher has taken it to the point where it's not even about the stadium anymore. He has literally driven this business, because it is a business, into the ground. And it's shameful. And it's shameful. And the reason why the attendance is so low is because people don't want to be treated that way. You know what I mean? It's like people are at the point, A's fans are at the point where they're like, you know what? I don't want to be disrespected. I don't want to see you purposely putting a losing team on the field. So I'm not going to give you my money, even if it's $10, to support this.
Yeah. That's pretty much it, really. I mean, you know, throughout the many seasons, and maybe you're one to, you know about this situation as well. But I mean, I know a lot of people in my family personally, obviously, my friends personally, and even people that I've made friends with at the game. Even friends that I don't even watch baseball at times, though, you know, they've started to become a fan, or they were diehard, or they always showed up to the games. And because of how mistreated they felt, I've seen each and one of my friends drop one by one. And it continues to this day. I mean, you know, if anybody ever goes to my YouTube channel and looks back at, you know, when I first started, 2018, 2019, you'll see a lot of my friends being at those games. I had, you know, there's people who dress up in costumes and, were there for 2012 and 2013, and they were staples of the left field and right field groups. And, you know, now it just like, you know, they're not there. And, you know, they're like, oh, I'm not going unless, you know, someone gives me a ticket. And it sucks because, you know, they were vital parts of, you know, showing off like the fandoms there, you know, the fans there in the stadium, because that's what my videos are also meant to do, is not only show off the stadium, but just to show off my fandom along with everybody else, and, you know, my experience with everybody here. I've made friends with a lot of people, and unfortunately I've seen a lot of them drop like flies. And, you know, for him to do that, it's very, you know, I find that very disrespectful. And, you know, even the last time when I was on here, you saw my reaction to it, and it was me kind of just going through my emotions.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I mean, obviously, since that conversation, then I rebooked my Dodger Stadium tickets, and I'm gonna go back to Dodger Stadium. And for me, I'm gonna play this whole thing out, whether they do stay or whether they leave. Ultimately, I'm just gonna play this out, and we're gonna see how this goes. Because there's a lot of people who watch my stuff who want to be connected and see what's going on and see how this plays out. So that's ultimately what I'm gonna do in the end. And, you know, I kept my season tickets, even though I said I wasn't gonna do it. That's my second time saying that, but like I said, I'm gonna roll this way through and see how this goes, and I'm here for the end. So however this thing ends, that we're gonna see it through.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that. Like for me, it's like I'm going while they're still in Oakland, I'm going to enjoy it while I can, for sure. So I mean, we don't know when this is going to end. It will end indefinitely. I think we can go into that a little bit later. But let me get into the comments. Ana Diaz, hello everyone. Hello, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being a member of the channel. Anthony Estrada, I'm watching my Angels right now. 1-0. Ha ha ha. What is wrong with those Oakland Athletics? Well, if you've listened to the show, you know we brought up a lot of things that are wrong with them right now. Anna also said they are having a special session right now. Gamer, I think you spoke about this a little bit. And then she goes on to say the people of Las Vegas do not want bonds used. If the A's cannot make the payments, the bill falls on the homeowners. This is a big thing too. So I know a lot of people in the Las Vegas area, they don't want to pay for this. They don't want to pay for this. I mean, basically, Vegas fans, if you will, are into like the Aces and the Golden Knights because they're like homegrown or whatever they say, born in Vegas, whatever. I don't know the saying. Anyway, they don't want these Oakland teams coming in and taking all of their money to support this. And not only that, it's a very bad move to bring in a team that sucks. Yeah. So if John Fisher thinks, oh, we're going to go to Vegas and everyone's going to love us just because we moved, he's mistaken. Because Vegas people, they're not here for it. They are not here for it. They're used to their two homegrown teams, the Knights and the Aces, which both already have championships. Okay? They're used to winners already.
Yeah.
The Raiders are not winners. The A's are clear losers. And if they think they're just going to go ahead and move to Vegas and command this fan base, they're mistaken. That's what I think. Anthony Estrada goes on to say, I'm going on protest, sell Oakland Athletics, sell Oakland Athletics. Yes, that's right. And if you're playing or drinking, game alert is so. And we'll get into the protest, Gamer. I think you're going to give us all the details for the event coming up on the 13th here. But let's finish up these comments. What's up, Raider Nation? Protect the shield. Salute to you as well. By the way, make sure to subscribe to his channel. And we have a collaboration show on the Raiders as well. Rick says, being born and raised in Oakland and watching A's play, winning multiple championships, watching the A's stay cheap and then Moneyball. But the owner really doesn't want to pay, period. No, he doesn't. He could, by the way, he's a bajillionaire, like literally billions of dollars. If he could probably build a stadium wherever he wants.
Yeah.
Literally wherever he wants. So of course, he wants to spend other people's money. And those other people's money are going to be Clark County residents paying taxes for the A's to be there, whether they want it or not. And to me, that doesn't seem fair to the people that have to pay those taxes. But that's just me. Ana Diaz says, Fisher cannot guarantee that the stadium will sell out. Of course not. And like I said, you bring a crappy team anywhere, nobody wants to see it. Okay? Nobody. The A's are the only team that has basically two AAA teams. So, there's that.
And to add on to that comment, literally in the special session so far, there's been multiple times where they've brought up the numbers and did the math in front of them. And it's funny because, these are people that the A's hired to, make sure that they pretty much sell this to Nevada and the taxpayers and everything else, and to see them crumble is just it's hilarious at this point. And you could honestly tell, going back to a couple comments of saying that John Fisher is cheap and doesn't want to pay, you can clearly tell who paid for those lobbyists.
Right. Yep, this is true. So we're going to keep on going. Let's see. Rick says Oakland cannot keep professional teams, period. I don't think they're trying, to be honest. I don't even think they're trying. I mean, they've obviously first the Warriors went first, right? It was the Warriors, the Raiders, and now the A's. So yeah, that's their plan. Their plan is to just get rid of everyone. It is not a good business plan, but it is what it is. And I agree with you, Mother Moon. The tree house is awesome. If you've ever been to the Oakland Coliseum, Go out to the Treehouse. The Treehouse is awesome, especially on a Friday night. They've got a live DJ with an outdoor bar, and they have the Treehouse on the inside. They've got all the stuff everyone needs if they don't want to watch baseball: pool tables, ping pong tables, a cool bar, TVs, all the stuff. So check it out. And I agree, Mother Moon, the ushers are the best. Now remember, like that torch, hit that like button. If you want to subscribe to both of our channels and hit that like button. Hit the super chat button too if you want to support. Rick says, I'm still an A's fan, but not liking the ownership. Moneyball has run its course. Well, shoot. Moneyball ran its course, 20 years ago?
And, I will say a lot of people may disagree with me on this one. I honestly feel like Moneyball can work. I might be the crazy person to think it. Only reason why is because I've seen it with the Rays, and they made it to the World Series. Not saying that it, because I would say it's different standards. Only reason why I say that is because the Rays actually spent a little bit of money to keep some of those players. I mean, they have Wander Franco. They've kept I don't know his contract exactly, but I know that they paid him for a long time. And so it's like they actually paid somebody to stay there long term. Their stadium isn't that great, just like the Coliseum, but it's not. I haven't been there, so I can't say much about it. I just know that they're right next to the A's when it comes to stadium rankings on that. But I mean, I just feel like it can work. It just, with John Fisher owning this team, it ultimately can't. I mean, maybe it was just luck for the first time with Billy Beane trying to do something, and he was able to do it, but you need a little bit more than just what you're doing to push it over the edge. And I mean, we kind of saw it with the 2012 and 2013 teams when nobody expected the 2012 team to make it, and everyone thought it was a fluke, and they did it again. In 2014 came around, and that was one of the most solid teams they had, and it was working. Everyone thought they were like the biggest favorites, and that last piece they needed was something like a starting pitcher like a John Lester, and they just made the wrong decision and the wrong trade, and everything fell apart. And so I think if it doesn't include Cespedes and it's somebody else, I think the A's are most likely, honestly, probably going to meet the Giants in the World Series that year. And who knows? I think they beat them in the World Series that year as well. And a lot of people agree with me. Some people don't. Maybe I'm crazy.
No, I mean, you made a good point. I mean, all of that could have happened. Again, like obviously we'll never know. Raider Nation, Protect the Shield podcast. Oakland Stadium has some fire tailgating. And that's, I think, what I'm going to miss the most too. Like, if you look into the Raiders, like, tailgating's not the same at a Raiders game. If you look at the A's, like, there will be no tailgating once they move. So, I mean, yeah, we're definitely going to miss out on all of that. Anna says it's also the fact that they want to tear down the iconic hotel and casino. That is what is more upsetting. So I've heard this a lot from people in Vegas. People are a little bit upset about this, maybe a lot of upset, that they're willing to tear down this iconic hotel. And correct me if I'm wrong, you can fact check me, but I believe that was the first hotel that was out there on the Strip, which started it all. And they're going to go ahead and tear it down to put this stadium there when there's plenty of land everywhere. But, they want their trophy. They want their trophy. They got their trophy with the Raiders Stadium. They want their trophy with the A Stadium. They're going to put everything in one spot where it literally, I'm not exaggerating, right now, especially with Formula One being there, will take you 1 hour to go one block. And now they want to add more to that congestion. So, they're turning they're to locals. What I've heard is like they're basically like ruining the city. Yes, thank you. Yes, hit that like button. And remember, our drinking game tonight is sell every time we say it. You know what to do. So let me turn the tides here. So we'll talk about the protest a little bit more, which is happening on the 19th. Okay. Hear me out before you get mad at me, gamer. Hear me out.
All right.
I want the A's to stay in Oakland. 100% don't want them to move. I don't even care if they get a new stadium, by the way. That's part of it, though. I know they have to. That's the caveat. They have to get a new stadium to stay. I'm fine with them where they are. That aside, they are not staying in Oakland. It's a wrap. They don't want to stay. Oakland doesn't want them there. It's a wrap. They will be leaving. I don't know if it's this year, next year, the other year. So now that we've swallowed that pill, I guess I have to say, since they are leaving, I would rather have them go to Vegas opposed to Portland or Austin or Nashville or wherever else they're looking. I feel like if they go to Vegas, it's close enough. I can at least maintain being a fan if I chose, but I'm never going to Portland. I'm never going to Austin.
Yeah.
So what do you think of that? What do you think of that? Like, it's a wrap in Oakland. If they have to leave, what's your thought?
Well, if they leave, I haven't honestly. I mean, I've thought about every little situation thing that you could probably ask me. I've thought about that question many times. It just, like I said before earlier, like I'm ultimately not going to make a decision until everything is like dead on official, and
Very
I'm just
possible.
gonna wait. And I know there's like a lot of talk that it's pretty much a wrap, but I also feel like there's still that chance. And maybe, like I said, maybe it's me on that oxygen tank with a bunch of hope on there. But it just, to me, this deal doesn't make any sense for them to go over there. Not only just because I want them to stay, but it just, everything that's been going on in that meeting, it just makes no sense for them for Las Vegas to take it. There's only one person that really is going to push for it. It has to reach his desk, and that's Joe Lombardo. And, with everything that's been going on in that meeting where they pretty much fired on Dave Cavill and his team of lobbyists, to me, I'm not saying it's full on done, it's a done deal, but it's also, I feel like it's a 50-50 chance here. And so I'm going to wait it out. Maybe, like I said, maybe it's just me trying to be optimistic, and maybe it's me just being, like I said, crazy. But I'm gonna, just see this thing through.
Yeah, I hear you. And maybe because I feel like I've been through this before with the Raiders. I know you're not really like a Raiders fan or a football fan or anything like that. So
Mhm.
this is kind of like your first, I guess, experience, if you will, or of going through this. So maybe I'm a little jaded because I felt like I've gone through this. I've been through the save the team, the stay in Oakland, the protests, the media meetings at the headquarters and in the Coliseum with the media and the mayor and all this kind of stuff. And it went absolutely nowhere. So
Yeah.
I guess I'm kind of just like, okay, I feel like that's the path we're on. So
Mhm.
that's
And I
why when
don't
I
blame
say,
you.
yeah, so that's when I say, like, I think they're leaving. I don't think
Mhm.
that, I really do. I don't think they're going to stay. And I dislike that probably more than anybody. I mean, maybe not. I'm not trying to compare myself to you, but I don't like it one bit either. Like, I hate it. It makes
Mhm.
me mad, actually. Like, to the point where, like, I don't even want people to ask me about it anymore. Like, when people
Oh
ask
yeah,
me
for
about it, like,
sure.
it makes me mad.
Yeah, and I definitely feel you on that. Every time I go to a family gathering, or just like if I haven't seen friends, that I haven't seen in a while, that's the first question I get. And it's like, it's one time where I just want to drift off and not pay attention to it, and I automatically get the question. And I think one thing I think I said this on Twitter a couple weeks ago. After I do all my videos and everything like that, I usually, like around September, October-ish, and basically the off season, I kind of unwind and kind of like, because I get burnt out after
Mhm.
attending all those
Totally.
games and making all these videos. And ultimately, it's June. I said this, I think, in May. I feel burnt out already.
Yeah.
Like, just with everything. And you can ask me what's going on with the team, and I don't know what's going on with the team because I don't really care about what's happening on the field at the moment. I just care
Mhm.
about what's happening with this thing right now. And I if you were to ask me honestly if they're gonna leave, I'm not gonna tell you straight up that, like I said, like, yeah, even though I hope that they stay with everything that's going on, with everything that I've heard and I've seen and I've been told. um it's 90% that they're gone, and that's where I can say that. But with everything that I've been reading and people tell me and going on, it just, to me, I feel like Las Vegas is smart enough to vote this thing no, because there's a lot of things that don't make sense, and a lot of people have mentioned that during this meeting. They were literally getting flamed on by other, everything. Like all these senators were questioning them. They literally did the math in front of them. They said they got mad at them because they presented the same bill. They had 10 days to change it in an improvement and try to like get those votes and win over those people, and they didn't. So for me, if this goes bad for them and they can't get it done in Las Vegas, it just makes me wonder, can they even get a deal anywhere else? Because with all this drama that's going on, I honestly don't see any other any other city being that desperate enough to be like, we'll work with you. I mean, with everything with everything I've heard with Oakland, they were reportedly 80 to 90 million dollars away from getting a deal done in Oakland, and they were from yesterday. Casey Pratt did an interview with Mayor Sheng Tao. They said before all this stuff happened, they were about 2 days away from actually coming together and making a deal. How true is that? We'll never know, but I mean, that's coming straight from her and someone with a reliable source of, straight up asking her. And if that's true, I mean, you walked away from a deal in Oakland to go to Las Vegas, and everything just doesn't make sense. They were complaining about owning their own home, so they went to try to build on the Coliseum site and own the Coliseum site. That didn't work. So they prematurely announced the Peralta site. That didn't go well for them because they didn't have permission to get the site. They went ahead and went to where they were trying to get the ballpark now, which is Howard Terminal, and they were 90% away from getting it, 55 acres. They were going to own the land, and they were going to have all these restaurants and hotels and everything else to fund that stadium. And yet now you're going to go to Vegas and you're going to do the opposite of everything I just said, which is they're not going to have any of that land. They're going to have 9 acres. And I think Brody Brazil said it best. There's obviously with the, in the Bay Area, there's really good weather over here. You go to Las Vegas, it's really hot over there. So they're going to need a dome. That's more money on top of that. So there's no MLB stadium that's in MLB right now that has a retractable roof on 9 acres. And that's what they're trying to do, is build that on that site. And they released a rendering, and they're supposed to have a hotel from Bally's and a couple of other buildings, but in that rendering they don't show that. They showed that last second, and all you see is the stadium because of what? Like, they didn't have enough time to add a couple buildings in that project. Because what you just did is you just showed off this stadium, and a lot of people in Las Vegas are expecting that's what it's going to look like, that's how big it's going to be, and they're excited for it. Yet you're not telling them the whole truth because you have missing parts of that ballpark or those buildings in that hotel in the drawing. And just like I said, there's a lot of things that don't make sense about this deal. There's a lot of things that are missing from this deal. And like I said, if this goes through, I think they just got scammed ultimately.
Yeah, and it's super unfortunate. This is funny. Sorry, this is why I kind of smiled and laughed in the middle of that. Hey, Spicy, hope you're not crying behind those shades. I am actually. Thanks for asking. But with that said, I'll just leave it up there for a minute. I kind of had this I've kind of talked about it throughout the show, but I've kind of a little bit come to terms with it because as much as I do not want them to leave Oakland, I really do not. I just think it's going to happen. Like Mother Moon says here, I don't believe Oakland is fighting for the A's to stay, and I don't either.
You're right, because they did step away from the table, but the reason why they did it is because look at what's happening in Las Vegas right now.
Right. But this is kind of what then I'm like, I definitely don't want them to go to Vegas because I'm thinking, no Vegas, stay in Oakland. That's my thought process, right? Mm-hmm. However, now that I know Vegas is iffy, the A's have pretty much made it clear we're not staying in Oakland. So the A's are basically saying we are not staying in Oakland. So then I kind of panicked. I was like, well, then in that case, I guess I'd rather have them go to Vegas than anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I don't want them to go to Portland, Austin, or wherever that they're thinking of going.
Yeah.
So
I
then
mean,
I had this little mind shift of like, oh my gosh, no, you have to stay, you have to stay, you have to stay. And then they're like, no, we're definitely leaving. And I was like, okay, then choose Vegas.
yeah. And it's like I don't know. It just, to me, the whole deal is like, I mean, like I said, for me, I think whether a lot of people, whether you think I'm crazy or not, I just feel like there's just something wrong about this. They haven't been connecting to any of their fans about this. They didn't even show up to their own hearing in Las Vegas to have questions answered
Right.
about this ballpark bill, and they just let it go.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of things, and whether or not this gets done or not tonight or not, and have a vote on, we'll see how that goes. I mean, they literally asked. I mean, because of Mayor Shane Tao walking away from the deal in Oakland, they have nowhere to go.
Right.
It's for them, as how I'll put it in Dave Calville's term, is it's Las Vegas or bust. And they asked them, they said, if this doesn't go through with you guys here in Las Vegas, so what's your plan? Their hired lobbyists had no answer for that. They said,
Mhm.
I guess we're gonna have to figure it out. They would have to make another plan. And then quickly someone tried to fix it and said, oh, guess what? Like if they don't figure this out, they're gonna go to another city and look
Yeah.
somewhere else. But that's somebody who was hired and is not a part of the A's organization and does not know what's going on. And that's not straight from Dave Cavill or John Fisher. Is that true? We're gonna have to find out and see. But again, this is coming from someone who has no relation to the A's organization, so I don't believe that. And if this doesn't go through, it's either, to me, it's one of two things. If Rob Manfred has been defending John Fisher and the A's organization this entire time, he's trying to waive the relocation fee. He literally gave him permission to go look elsewhere, and he hasn't defended what's going on. Like, he hasn't tried to like reason and be like, oh well, the reason why they're doing it is this. He went to Milwaukee and was having a couple interviews out there, and he said, someone asked him, like, would you consider staying in Oakland, or some type of question like that, and they said you should ask Mayor Shane Tao that. He doesn't even know what's going on, because the day after this whole thing happened, she said if they were to call back, whether it's a current ownership group with John Fisher and Dave Cavill, or if they were to sell the team and come back here, they would finish the deal that they started. And how come how come the commissioner of MLB does not know this information? And why is he saying something like that? Because he doesn't know what's going on. Nobody has relayed this information to them. And, even I think it was the A's who told Mayor Shane Tao to not discuss anything that's going on with the project with the media. And that's also a reason why he doesn't know what's going on. And they've even I think it's Mayor Shane Tao and I think Rebecca Kaplan, who've directly called out the commissioner and telling them, hey, this is what's going on over here. Why are you letting this happen? And I think today there's a council member or someone within Oakland who had an open letter to Commissioner Rob Manfred about a relocation antitrust act or law, something like that. So if they're going to go down that route, they're going to be prepared for something that they're not ready for.
Right. So when will we know? Do we know? We know they met today. They're on a break or hiatus or whatever. Is there any sort of indication or anything that they're going to resume anytime soon?
So this is like I said, this is a pretty much an ongoing situation. I've been since I joined here, I haven't heard anything of what about what this is, like how this is going right now. I've been trying to like pay attention on Twitter to see if anybody's kind of like, said anything. But the last thing I heard was everything that I'm telling you now, where the A's lobbyists and even Dave Cowell got obliterated by the senators out there for questioning him. Excuse me, for the stuff that's been going on out there with the ballpark bill and everything else. And so, I mean, as for that, I still gotta look into see what's going on out there. I haven't got any messages about anything else, but from what I'm understanding here is that there could be a vote today or tomorrow whether they pass this bill or not. And if this goes through and Joe Lombardo signs it and it goes through, I mean, the funding's there from on their end. I mean, just like you said, they're pretty much gone. But if not, as for what happens next after that, I mean, we honestly don't know. Do they go back to Oakland? Do they, like you said, do they go look at another city? Do they go sell the team? What's going to happen? I mean, John Fisher, I think he's actually, there's a lot of stuff that's been going around where they've been looking up his past. 2020, this may mean something, it may not. 2020, he put the Earthquakes and the A's on collateral. And, they're looking, you see his margins in the stocks for Gap, they're going straight down.
Right.
A lot of money in the past couple of years. And there's a lot of people who are saying he might actually be going broke. And maybe the reason why he didn't finish that ballpark deal in Oakland was maybe because he couldn't even afford it.
Yeah, and just to kind of circle back here. So John Fisher, the owner of the A's, is also the owner of the San Jose Earthquakes, or the Quakes. I don't even know what they go by. One or the other. Earthquakes. Okay. And they're the football team in San Jose. So yeah, that's an interesting point. And that's why I think, it's a good, I don't think it's a good, I mean, for him, it seems good, a good business plan to lose money. You lose money, you lose money, you lose money. It's a write-off, it's a write-off, it's a write-off. And then make something so bad where we have to leave and then get a payday. Maybe, like you're saying, almost like CYA, if you will. If that's true, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're just gonna have to wait and see. I'm trying to see what's going on here from a lot of people out here, but there's I don't know. I mean, I can tell you one thing. I don't know if you can really see this slide or not, or this picture. I'll try my best. This is a poll that's going on in Las Vegas for legislators, or should I say, the public to vote in Las Vegas. And currently, there's about, can't really tell. There's 202 votes who are opposing this. Yeah. And that's about 93% to the 6% that are,
for it.
Yeah. So they need to listen to their people, and I guess we'll see how that goes in the end.
Yeah, that's interesting because it's kind of like we talked about, right? It's like they don't want it. You're like forcing yourself somewhere where you're not wanted.
Yeah.
And where people actually want you to stay, you don't want to be. Like, it makes no business sense. Ana Diaz says, well, don't tune into right now because you're watching us, but Channel 8 has a live blog right now. So I'm assuming that means she's in Las Vegas watching it, or maybe on Twitter or something like that. Tell me what you mean by this Alpha and Omega. I'm not sure who they is. They deserve better, though. I guess, are we speaking of the team?
Maybe the fans.
Speaking of the fans, sucks to see them uprooted from what is known as home. Of course, Oakland is home. I don't know. When people say fans deserve better, I don't even know what they mean by that. Because if they're talking about the stadium, I disagree. I'm fine with it. If we deserve better in terms of the way that John Fisher is running it, 100%. 100%. And that's why I think people are lobbying for him to sell.
Yeah.
So that's that. So let's go on because we got a little bit more time here, but let's talk about what's going on. There's been, hold on, let me back up a little bit. Let me back up a little bit because there's a lot going on in the Coliseum. Let me back up a little bit. We got the sell t-shirts, we've got the signage and all this stuff. 2 years ago, we were in a suite and we literally took a sign out. We were in the suite in the outfield and it said, stay in Oakland. We posted it up. The organization, whoever did not want it there, get it out of here. This is propaganda, blah, blah, blah. Now it's seeming like they're allowing that kind of stuff in. So that's part A. Part B is what I would like you to talk about is, tell me about this protest that's going on June 13th. Tell me what the protest is. If you can tell me the logistics of it and what the ultimate goal is of this protest.
So everything that's going on June 13th, pretty much, for those who don't know, obviously, we've been discussing how poorly these fans have been treated by John Fisher with the team and everything else. And ultimately, with them fighting for a new ballpark, with it being parallel paths, as Dave Calvin would say, fans have had enough. And, we also kind of had enough of people talking down upon A's fans about the narrative of that fans don't show up, they don't care, they should just move because nobody cares about them, nobody wants to come to the games. Before this Las Vegas news even happened, there was a reverse boycott planned, and at first I will say on my part I wasn't really fond on the idea. Only reason why I wasn't fond on the idea because because throughout the entire time of this happening, it's at that moment in time, it seemed like there was a lot of things going good for the city of for the ballpark of it possibly even getting done. Like I said, they were 90% done, and so we all thought everything was going fine. I thought everything was going fine. So for me, I thought why even do this? Because we all know that there's a lot of people they've already pissed off. So it's going to be kind of hard to convince fans to show back up to the stadium. And I would say even harder now because, of everything that's going on.
Right.
But at that moment in time, we were just like, you know what? Let's try to do June 13th. It's a Tuesday night game against the Tampa Bay Rays, a team, like I mentioned before, doesn't come out in pack like, the Dodgers would or the Yankees would. And so it would be a Tuesday night where it's the least crowded. As we saw, I mean, couple videos I made it went viral actually. They had the lowest attendance I believe since 1979, and
in the 2000s was it like 2,900 or something?
At like 2064 or something like that. Okay. And that's on my channel for anyone who wants to go check that out. It was very sad to be a part of, just throwing that out there. But no, so the whole plan was to do it on a Tuesday night where nobody really shows up to those games and against a team that, unfortunately, it's like I said, they're not drawing like the other teams would, like big name teams. And that's what we were planning on doing. And once the Vegas talks started happening, it kind of motivated a lot of fans, including myself, to go for it. And what I mean by that is, there's a group in right field. They're called the Oakland 68s. They're really great people out there, and I haven't talked to them up until this year. I've never really engaged with them, but this year, because of everything that's going on, I'm gonna go over there and talk to them, and we need to unite in this thing. We need to get everybody together because it's better than trying to fight it off with one person. And so we all love the same thing. We love the A's, and we're trying to work together. Ultimately, I walked over there, and they had their sell signs. They had all that stuff up, and nobody really had anything for left field. So I went there to the leader over there of the 68, George, and we made a thing where he paid for some of the banners. I paid for some of the banners. I also had other fans chip in to try to get these banners up. And anything you see in left field that's for me, I've pretty much made about 10 banners now. 6 banners have been up already. And I've ordered 4 more for the June 13th game. And like I said, with the 68s, with the protest game, they raised over $25,000. Their goal was $25,000, but they raised that and more to make sell shirts to give out to fans. And so they donated. Every donation was $5 equals 1 shirt. So now I think with 25,000, I think that math was about 5,000 fans are going to get a sell shirt when they walk to the game. And they made it to where only people who attend the game are going to get it because again, it's like more numbers, people who have it, more people are going to see it. So no matter where you're sitting, at least you're going to have one. And we've, even right now, this wasn't planned or anything, but right now the 68s just tweeted that, which is another thing I'm about to get into. They're buying tickets and they're also giving them to fans. So right now, they actually tweet us saying they bought 100 tickets and they're giving them out to fans, and they're trying to make sure people are gonna be there and will use those tickets, and they're not gonna be bought and it's a waste of money. And same thing with my side. I have Last Dive Bar. They've been really good partners of trying to whatever proceeds they get on their site, they donate to the A's Community Fund. But because of that, because of everything that's going on, they actually stopped doing that, and all the proceeds that they did, they actually made billboards. And you're from Las Vegas?
Me? No, I'm from the Bay Area.
Okay. Yeah. So pretty much in Las Vegas, they put up billboards, and they actually have John Fisher's face and Dave Calville's face that say "No Nevada Money." and they had a campaign, and there's a bunch of billboards. I think they stopped it at this moment. They had a bunch of billboards roaming the city of Las Vegas saying, don't use Nevada money to fund a billionaire. There was another fan. I'm forgetting his name, which I've seen his name a bunch, but I don't know him personally, but his name is Matt Ortega. He made a website called KnowNevadaMoney.com, and pretty much it has all the, it has every legislator or every senator, talking, it's like a free message, and send an email to every person the person who's going to be voting on this. You can send any message you want to them, let them know and warn them to not do this. But in the end, this game is going to mean a lot to fans, because we're just trying to prove a point at the end of the day, that we're trying to prove a point to not only the world that there are A's fans, but we're trying to prove it to MLB. We're trying to show up, John Fisher and Dave Cavill and everybody else. Last bar in 68s on June 13th, they're going to be doing a tailgate before the game. Last Day Bar is going to have a cornhole game, and they're going to put Dave Cavill and John Fisher's faces as the hole. And they actually, with the beanbags, they're going to be poop emojis. So you're going to be throwing, poop emojis in the house. So that's going to be pretty cool. Obviously, the banners. I have a lot of the banners up as well as 68s on their side. They're going to be making some banners. I got my 138. They're going to have some of their banners on their own. There's going to be cheer cards. I don't know exactly what they say. I haven't seen them, but they will be passing them out to fans, and they're going to, I'm assuming, say sell unless it says something else. And at the tailgate, you're going to be able to pick up your shirt that says sell. And for the first time since that announcement, the 68s are going to be bringing back the drums, and that's like for me a big thing. Once the announcement was announced, they actually messaged the A's saying, we're not give us our drums back, and 420 the drums stopped, and that was a big statement. And I've said it in a video. I've actually showed it a bunch of my videos, but the atmosphere is way different without the drums. It's very crazy, and it's also sad, because I know some people hate them, I know some people love them, but to me, I love them, and they made an empty stadium feel like there's a lot more people there, whether you like it or not. I know the Astro fans hate it, but us Oakland fans, we've grown to love it, and I love it, and it's a missing piece. And so for me to hear that once again on June 13th for one night only, it's going to be insane. So I mean, from what I've heard, is there's about 13,000 people who bought tickets, and that was about I think a week ago. That's and good. So what, to me, ultimately how I see it in the end though is whether there's people who fill up the stadium and it's a packed stadium, whether it's half or whatever, we still love this team. We raised over $25,000 to give our fans shirts that say sell, and for us to do this, and we're giving fans an opportunity to go to the game and just voice your frustration, because at the end of the day, we're all A's fans. We love and care about the same thing, and we just want to help each other out. And that's pretty much what this says about us. I mean, I honestly don't even know, and maybe the Raiders did it. I don't know. I personally don't know. For me, I've never heard of a fan base that went out and did their own giveaway.
Yeah.
So
the Raiders, we definitely, as a Raiders fan base, like I said at the top of the show, we did all that we felt we had to do. It wasn't exactly like what you have done, but kind of along the same lines. But let's just, in a nutshell. So for everyone who's interested, I guess kind of I don't know if it's a 4-part question, but it's maybe a 1-part question in sequence. So we want to support what you're doing on June 13th. Condense. Okay. So we want, if you want a shirt, you go where? If you need a ticket, you go where? And then what's the vibe that the fan base is supposed to exude once inside? So that's my kind of my 3-part question.
So when you show up to the game, I believe the parking lot opens up at 3:30. I feel like I could be wrong on that one. I usually wait for the A's to post it, but the A's usually post the times on when they open up.
About
the
2.5 hours before usually.
Well, they kind of jerks about it. They kind of change the time. So during the weekday games, they have it only 1 hour before or an hour and a half. So I think the parking lot opens up at 3:30 or 4:30, and the ballpark opens up at 5:40. But from what I'm told, the parking or sorry, I'm blanking out here. But the tailgate's going to be at lot B, and the tailgate's supposed to start at 3:30.
Lot B?
Lot B, where the light towers are.
So is it lot B on the south side of the stadium?
It's if you're looking straight up like from home plate, second base, it's on the right hand side, and it's the furthest towards to where I guess where the Raiders old seats are.
Correct. Okay, yeah, that's the south side of the stadium.
Yeah, so it's gonna be right over in that corner where the light towers are at.
Okay.
When you go there, there's gonna be music, there's gonna be cornhole, there's gonna be all that stuff. You're gonna be able to pick up the shirt. They're gonna have 2 sizes.
And anyone can pick it up. You just show up and be like, "Hey, I want to support this protest.
Yep.
Can I get a shirt?"
Yep. Anybody pretty much who walks by is, you just go in a line. They're gonna be passing out shirts, and I believe they're also gonna, if you can't make it to the tailgate, they are also gonna try to have people go on around the stadium at different entrances, and they're gonna be giving them out before you.
So there's enough shirts. There's enough shirts for everyone who wants to wear one.
For the most part, like I said, I mean, they have about 5,000, and I think they actually raised a little bit more than that. So I don't know if they're using that money for something else, like a band that they're gonna have there, or whatever, like food or whatever. But they will have about 5,000 shirts in that area. They're gonna be distributing it around. As for and the other question you said was besides that one?
Yeah, so sum it up just for that part of it. If you want to get a shirt, go to the south side of the Coliseum, which is the Hangenberger entrance. Like you said, over where all the seats for where the Raiders seats used to get craned in to pick up your shirt. Look for the tailgate, look for the party. And then the next question was, you said there was somebody that was giving out like 100 tickets or something like that.
Oh yeah, so on Twitter, if you go Oakland 68s, they are actually giving out tickets right now. That was about like 30 minutes ago, I believe, that they tweeted that out. I could be wrong, but they said that they're going to be giving out. If you want to go to the game, message them, and they should be able to send you a couple tickets your way.
Okay, and then the last part of this question was, once we're inside, we got our ticket, we got our sell shirt. What's the vibe? I saw some rules or some suggestions. Do you know those off the top of the hand of kind of like how we're supposed to conduct ourselves once inside?
So a lot of us have been kind of trying to. The last dive bar in Oakland City summed up a little bit in this little post that I'm going to read off here. Okay. But for anyone who is following along, like whether you follow both of them, they're going to have it on there. If you follow me, I'm going to have it on my Instagram post, Twitter, and everything else. I'm also planning on making a video about this, so it's going to be, all this information is going to be in there as well. But pretty much, ultimately, you're going to want to be as loud as possible and just voice your frustration. The couple rules they had here was on the first batter at the beginning of the top of each inning, there would be a chant of "sell the team." So it would just be "sell the team, sell the team." At the bottom of every inning, there was going to be a "stay in Oakland," clap, 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 clap. And it says, for the first batter of the beginning of the top and fifth inning, to honor the 55 years in Oakland, to protest the move, everybody's going to stand up but completely be silent for the entire at bat.
And who's at bat at that time?
That person, we'll see how that. I mean, we're going to see who it is. I mean, it's
gonna be will the A's will be at bat? That's what I mean.
It will be. It would be actually at the top of the fifth, so it would be the Rays.
Top of the fifth. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, listen, I didn't make the rules, but I almost feel like the silence with the A's is almost better.
Yeah, I mean,
because you're usually cheering for the A's. No, I know, and I'm just saying you're usually cheering for the A's, and you want the A's. So to be silent for another team makes more sense to me than to be silent for your own team. But I just wanted to make that clear. It's all good. I'm not trying to change the rules. I just wanted to understand them.
All good.
Yeah. All right, everyone. So there you have it. The ongoing saga that is the Oakland A's. For now, the Oakland A's. We hope the Oakland A's forever. You know, I have sentimental ties to it. I grew up in the stadium. My grandmother worked in the stadium. She worked for the team. I was literally running around there as a little kid. So for me, it literally breaks my heart on more than one level. And I really do not want to see them go. I think they are going to leave, but I'll do whatever I can to help them stay, like I did with the Raiders, even though we know that didn't work out. So I'll see you out there on June 13th. Hopefully we'll be able to get our sell shirts. And if I've got the Twitter here for Oakland 68th, if you want to reach out to this person who is giving out tickets. 1 hour ago, 100 tickets they offered. So reach out. And then also, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my friend's channel here, Gamer Athletics. He covers every single game, whether he watches it in the stadium or at home. And most of the time he is in the stadium. There's his YouTube channel right there. Remember, if you haven't already, like this video, share, and hopefully we'll see you out there on the 13th. Gamer, I want to thank you for joining us. Hope to have you again once this saga goes on. And, you know, at the end of the day, at the end of the battle, I'll say at the end of the battle, I hope we can be longtime Oakland Raider, or excuse me, sorry, I'm so Oakland A's fans.
Same here. I hope so as well.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Bye, everybody. Have a good night, and go A's.
Let's go up.
Let's go, Oakland!
Simeon tests out Brasso with his new spot. Low throw is off base, and Simeon's at third. Ramon Laureano with a little fly ball. Garcia makes the catch. Simeon's going to score, and the A's are on the board.
Sacrifice fly for Laureano, and the A's get one back.
All right, my friend, before we go out, let's say it like we mean it. Let's go, Oakland.
Let's go, Oakland.
I'll see you out there on the 13th, my friend.
See ya.
Good night.